Hello everyone, Auvbri here and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are building the deserted castle. Now if you've been with the channel for quite a while now, you would know that, hey Auvbri, you've already done a build called the deserted castle. And yeah, that's true. So this is a build that we started on live streams. I'm gonna get into live streams in just a little bit, but I just want to explain real quick about the build here. So again, this is a build that we build on live streams, and it's a not recreation but reimagining of one of my very old builds at this point. So it's from 2016, and now that we have terrain tools and all of these expansion packs and game packs, stuff packs, I wanted to go back in and see if I could make something bigger, something more castle-esque than what we did the first time around. So this is what we ended up doing. Now I want to get back to streams real quick. So live streams. I used to do live streams here on YouTube, and I'm going to switch over to Twitch for live streams from now on. And the reason that I'm doing that is because Twitch just is an overall better place to live stream, because YouTube has a lot of restrictions, and on YouTube you have the unfortunate thing that every single thing that you live stream almost always gets flagged for some copyright issue, whether it be music or whatever, which is really annoying when you're trying to do YouTube like more seriously, and every single thing you do gets flagged for some reason or another. So I've decided to start streaming on Twitch, and my Twitch is twitch.com or twitch.tv/Auvbri. So it's very easy to find. I'm going to be streaming all the same stuff over there that I would be streaming here. So we're going to have the Sims 4 live streams where we build, and we're going to have the story-based gameplay live streams. For example, we're playing Life is Strange, and episode 3 is going to be on Twitch as well. So there's no more live streams here on the channel. There will be more information on the community tab and on my Discord server and Twitter page. So go check out those places if you want to find out more information about, you know, the general streaming thing that is happening here on the channel. So that being said, I've started with a bridge here. Now in the original build, I'm gonna call it the original build, even though it's not basic, it's literally not the same build, it's just the basic same idea. But in the original build, we also had a bridge spanning over like a what is it called, like huge cliff side thingy, and I really wanted to do that again in this build. When I did the original build, there was no such thing as terrain editing and terrain manipulation. So again, it's a very different build because we have all of these different heights. We couldn't move the foundation up and down either like we can now. So we have all of these different heights, which I really wanted to take advantage of. And you could kind of see it in the intro video as well, that we play around a lot with different foundation heights, different angles as well, to create this illusion that the castle is very, very big. It is a big castle, and it took me almost 17 hours to finish everything in this build because it's just such a huge build. I mean, we did 2 live streams building on this build, and then I had like several hours by myself going back and forth and just doing small detailing here and there, going out again and then coming back to it. So it's been a very long process making this build, but I think the end result is really, really cool. So I'm overall really happy about how everything turned out here. And seeing that there was about 17 hours worth of footage, and this speed build is for, what does it say? 32 minutes long. there's a lot of stuff that you just are not gonna see. But again, that's just where I like, if I had half an hour or something, I would go in on my spare time, add little detailing here and there that you probably wouldn't notice if you saw it in the speed build version as like either. So yeah, there's little stuff like that that I didn't add in, but I really think that this build turned out freaking awesome. I was trying out different styles of the brickwork and the stonework for the castle itself here, and because we had like this foundation thing happening with the terrain tools, there was these huge gaps which we're also going to cover up with stones and plants and stuff like that, just to make everything look a bit more natural looking. But yeah, it's a really cool looking build, and I really like the way that it turned out. So we have a bit of exterior work left to do. A bit is an understatement, but we also have some interior work in this build. It's not much. It's like literally only 3 rooms that I did some interior work on, because in the original as well, I did not do any interior work really on the place, because for me this whole build was about showing what you can do on the exterior if you really set your mind to it. So I wanted to have, how do you explain it? I wanted to have like to show what I can do with exterior work. And also exteriors are really where I like building the most, to be honest. Interior work is really cool. I like it, and a lot of people tell me that I'm good at it, but I don't know, there's something about exterior work which really just gets my juices flowing. I mean, that's where I really feel inspired to build. So yeah, this is basically mainly on exterior work, and I would say about 15 out of those 17 hours are spent on exterior work only. So we're working on the bridge right now. This is again from the live stream, and I was asking you guys' help to help me figure out what we could do with the bridge, because I wanted it to look old, run down. Again, this is deserted, so we're gonna have a lot of stones that's fallen over and stuff like that, and a lot of hanging plants, and just trying to overall make it look really, you know, abandoned. And I was just trying different stuff here, adding different stuff, and then I was like, okay, so if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm like the most unorganized builder in the community. Like, I'm all over the place, and I'm not even kidding. If there's something I'm just not feeling at the moment, I'm not feeling the vibe of it, I'm not feel like doing it, I will just come back to it once I'm ready to it. And I was feeling that way about the bridge at this point, so I was starting to work on the stonework and trying to make it look, you know, somewhat more abandoned and deserted. So we started filling in plants, and then I started, you know, working to make the pathway as well look really deserted. And I did that by adding tons of these grass clumps, which they're called. They're actually called grass clumps. So I added a lot of those to the whole build in general, because I don't know, they just have like this vibe that, you know, nature has taken over, which I really thought was cool looking. I am gonna change the wallpaper on the stone that we have there, because I was kind of testing out to see if I could have 2 different types of stone wallpapers around the place, but I don't know, I wasn't liking it as much as I thought I would. And this is where, for me at least, it starts to look a bit more deserted, abandoned-esque, when we start adding these grass clumps and all of these rocks around the place, and really start to make it look like, you know, things are abandoned, which I really enjoy. I do believe at this point in time we are... Oh yeah, there's a huge jump here. So this is again from the live streams, part of it anyways, and at this point I started adding a lot more of the castle itself. I didn't really know at this point what the castle was gonna look like, because I kind of had like a sketch-ish thing going on, but it wasn't really super detailed and super clear on what I wanted to do. So I started working on the sides of the castle. Here we have these two bigger towers, and there's gonna be a lot of towers in this place, but we have these two bigger towers here, and I tried to make it look again overgrown, taken back by nature. So again, adding more detailing to the bridge, and I'm gonna say it now, I'm gonna keep coming back to that bridge, because it's one of those things. It's one of those first things that you see in my head when you see it from the side, is the bridge as well. So I'm gonna keep coming back to that. Then we have the windows here that I'm added, which came with Stranger Will, which I thought was just freaking perfect. Like, they just fit in with the whole place so well, and the wooden turn that you could use with it was just like taken right out of a freaking medieval book, which I loved. So I used those a lot, like throughout the place. We're gonna mix it up at some point with two other types of windows, I believe, but mostly we're gonna end up using the Strangerville ones. And then we're gonna have, I can't remember what pack it was from, or if it's just like base game. I believe it's like Get Together maybe, but it's like another super medieval looking window, which has like this little stonework underneath, and then it looks super, I don't know, like church castle-esque, like, which I really thought was cool as well. So I'm going to use that as well, and I'm going to use these stone fencing thingies from Get Together as well. Excuse me. Because yeah, they just, I don't know about you, but it looks like rubbles to me, like fallen stone rubbles, which I thought was just so perfect. And this is where I am working on it on my own, I believe. Don't like quote me on that, but I do believe that this is where I'm working on it alone. Maybe this is still part of the stream, but again, we're gonna skip a lot, and there's some stuff that you're just not gonna see me do. If you want to figure out how I do certain stuff, join one of my live streams, and I will certainly show you, tell you, talk about it, or whatever you need. Like, I'm really glad to help people who want to get help in The Sims. Also, I need help sometimes myself. For example, Kate Emerald is one of those types of YouTubers in the Sims community who just does amazingly good tutorials on different stuff, like L-shaped stairs without foundation, stuff like that, which I really do appreciate. So yeah, I need help myself. But again, if there's something I do in these streams or in these videos that you see that you just can't figure out how to do, try hitting me in the comment section down below, or join one of my live streams and come hang out, because it's like really chill, nice environment to be, and we have like this really great community, at least in my streams, where we can just hang out and chill and have a nice time together. So again, twitch.tv/Auvbri, and that's where it is. And I will always post here in the community tab on Discord and on Twitter when I'm going to stream on my Twitch page. So definitely like, subscribe, and stay tuned to those places if you're interested in joining one of the streams. So now we're at this point where I couldn't figure out where the rest of the castle was gonna go, so I started adding detailing instead. And I wanted to have all of these gargoyles and figurines around the place, because for me, they just like make the castle experience feel like it's more real, if that makes any sense. Like, it just feels a bit more castle-esque like, which I really like. And then I had like a epiphany. I was like, ah, yes, we can totally do this. So I started adding more detailing around the place, and as you guys know, my builds turned out a lot bigger than I normally anticipated, and that's just the story of my simmer life. I always make builds huge, and I always make them too big, so they take forever to finish, but I really do think that it's worth it in the end, especially in this build, because it's so different from what I normally do. Yeah. I can see that at this point I had pressed the the V key on the keyboard, which is why there's like this yellow border, and I do that a lot. I don't know why. It's like, maybe I have just like big fingers. Yeah, who knows. We have this big tower in the middle, and I'm gonna go back in the two of the towers and add a lot of detailing. So the big tower especially, we're gonna go in, and I'm actually gonna delete some walls, add some rubble and stuff and trees inside, so it looks really overgrown and like a tree has grown inside of the castle, which I thought was a really cool idea as well. Then we have the other big tower in the middle of the big castle part here, and then we have like what I would call the throne room area, where, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I kind of took inspiration from cathedrals, like the Notre Dame and one we have here in Denmark as well. I kind of took inspiration from those two, which I just thought, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that that cathedral type of feel looked really, really good with the castle that we're creating here. So yeah, I added that, and I can't remember when we're gonna add it. It's hopefully in just a little bit. Like, honestly, I can't. Yeah, we're gonna add it now, and I just thought that looked really cool. It was different, and it really fit well in with the place. And we're gonna put in, of course, gargoyles here as well. Just to have the whole scheme feel cohesive and nice. So yeah, it's turning out really great at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but you can kind of get that feeling when you're doing a build, that either you're like, ah, yes, this is really good, I like it, or you're just not feeling the build and you're having a hard time, continue building on it. And for a while I had a hard time building on this because my inspiration level was very low, personal life, and I just wasn't feeling the medieval thing. So what I like to do when I get in those types of moods, it's just to like leave it. It's still gonna be there, you can still do other stuff, and then just come back to it once you're feeling it, which I did. And I really do believe that the builds turned out much better for it. So on the surrounding areas of the castle, we have these smaller lake things. I wanted to put in, create smaller waterfall types of things. But when I started doing that on my own, the game was lagging like crazy, because let's face it, there is a lot of items already in the place. And when I started adding in shrubbery, bushes, and all trees and stuff like that, it was a bit more than what the game should have, apparently. So it started to lag a bit when I was almost finished with all the decorating of the exterior work down here, because we're gonna use a lot of shrubbery and, you know, stonework and stuff like that to make it look realistic. Then I wanted to add in fountain tools, you know, to create the effect that we have waterfalls. But yeah, the game just wasn't having it. It did not like that at all. So I ended up not doing it. Also just because those smaller puddle lake things are kind of excluded, and yeah, I felt just like adding it in. I could have added in. It's not like my game can't handle it because I have a very good computer, but I'm also thinking about other people's games as well. You know, people who are playing on laptops and don't have a desktop computer like I have. I'm thinking about those people as well. That's also why I never use CC or mods and stuff like that, because I want everybody to be able to use the stuff that I create. But I decided not to add it in because my game was starting to have a hard time keeping up with all the items, and I felt like, okay, so if I add it in now, other people are just gonna, like, you know, game crash or whatever can happen. So I decided not to, and just decorated around it. You can still see that we have these smaller lakes going on around the place. There's just no waterfalls around it. So at this point we had created the cathedral-like experience with the gargoyles around the place, and once I started adding in the windows here, and we started adding in all of the detailing with the plants hanging around and stuff like that, which is gonna happen in just a little bit, actually. So once I started doing that, I could really start to see the whole thing come together, and really, you know, I got that abandoned, deserted castle vibe, which is totally what I was looking for. So I'm super happy how this turned out, and I hope that it's deserted enough that people can see how much time I spent on it. We have some of the gargoyle statues where I just didn't have this, like, the gargoyles, and I used like this broken stone instead to mimic that some of the gargoyles would have fallen down or got destroyed or whatever it could have been, which I thought was really cool. And then we, like, yeah, just put in tons of plants around the place, and these wall crawling plants from the vampire game pack was amazing. Like, a lot of the vampire stuff actually fit really well with a castle build like this, and oh my god, now looking at it, it could have been like a vampire castle, like an abandoned like something like that. That's really, oh, okay. I mean, see, you can use this stuff for whatever the frick you want. I mean, it's totally up to you. I just, like, wrote a little story in the gallery page where you can get the build. Like, that once a sprawling kingdom, a great king and his blah 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 subjects had a nice life. And then a plague happened and people abandoned the kingdom, and now this once great castle is deserted and abandoned. So that's, I believe something like that is what I wrote in the description as well. So we're working on the back here. I know a lot of people ask me, why do you put so much detailing in the back? It's not like you're really gonna look at it, but I want there to be detailing all around the place. So I always spend a lot of time on the exterior detailing work, especially in a build like this, where the key is to make it look abandoned. Oh, and yeah, this is where I started doing that thing where I wanted to have, like, this hole in the wall and have a tree kind of come out of one of the towers here, which I thought was really cool. So we have a tree, and I'm gonna do it in the big, you know, the biggest of the towers as well. Yeah, roof detailing. I do believe that we're gonna jump into the interior work in just a little bit, but I wanted to have these, let's just call them small lakes. I wanted the water to have this darker glow to it, so it was like wouldn't look too unrealistic. And at this point, when we've jumped into the interior work, I had like, at this point all the exterior work is done, and there's just so much of the exterior work that I'm not gonna show in this video, because it's just literally me going around placing bushes, shrubbery, clumps of grass and trees, and trying to make everything look cohesive. So I'm not going to show that, but you can, I mean, you can take a look for yourself, and I think it turned out really awesome. Now this is the throne room, which I thought was just such a cool idea to have, so I really wanted to incorporate that into the build, and of course make it look really deserted-esque. And then I thought, okay, so we can use this other piece from Get Famous here to create like this kind of lookout thing, where maybe like the king would have looked out over his kingdom or something like that. I just thought it was cool looking, and we used a lot of the items from the Get Famous expansion pack, because they kind of have like this deserted old school vibe thing, which I thought was like, for example, the rocks that we use in this place. I mean, they're just perfect for this place. And I tried to make a throne room that was grand looking, but I also wanted it to be deserted looking. So I had like these pillars in the back that maybe like would have turned into rubble for some reason, and I chose really dark and grim furniture in here, like for example the ones that we have here, which frankly does look overtaken by nature, and then tons of grass clumps and stuff inside as well, because this is abandoned. Like, let's just face it, it's an abandoned, deserted castle, so there's nobody here. That's also why I only furnished 3 of the rooms. So we have the throne room here, we have like the entrance area where I put in some stuff, not a lot, but some stuff, and of course tons of grass clumps as well, just to make it look cohesive and fit the vibe that we have outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that freaking machine in the background. They're doing construction work on my street at the moment, and I had hoped at this point that they would be done when I was recording this, and it was so silent for so long, and now it's started again, so sorry about that, but the video is over soon, I promise. So we have the entrance room here as well, and then I thought, okay, so we can have like a little bedroom in the back, and we have trees peeking through the roofs, and it's totally fine because I'm gonna put in grass as well, and we're gonna jump into the video tour in just a little bit. But this is the last room that I'm gonna show, and you know, I just wanted to do some interior work, not a lot. There's greatly there's a great chance for you to expand and use this build as a normal build if you want to. I just didn't go that way. Starting in the throne room looks really overgrown. I'm in love with how this turned out, and it looks deserted, abandoned. I love it. So remember, if you want to get this build, it is on the gallery right now. Just search my origin ID, which is Auvbri, and you should be able to find everything I have done, or you can use the download link for this particular build in the description down below as well. While you're in the description down below, why not go check out my Discord server? There's a link to that in the description below, as well as my Twitter page and my Twitch channel page. So go subscribe and follow and whatever on those 3 places as well. And again, those Twitter and Discord are the best ways to figure out when I'm gonna stream if you're not subscribed to me on Twitch. Discord and Twitter is the best place for you to figure out when the next stream is. So definitely go follow me on those 2 places. And here we have it. You can kind of see the tree sticking out of the big tower here, looking down on the great grand castle. I'm in love with how this turned out. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think about this build. This is a build that you would expect from me, because it's very different from what I normally do. I normally do these very modern builds, and this is totally different for me, and I wanted to get this out before the new expansion pack as well. So tell me in the comment section down below how you like this build, and if you would like to see me do more of these different types of builds like this one or Aphrodite's Temple that I did a little while back as well. I will certainly do so. And yeah, just swirling around the place. I had so much fun doing this video tour, because I wanted to show off everything on the exterior work of this build. So I'm so happy about how it turned out. But that being said, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in on this video and for subscribing to the channel, and for always being a loyal subscriber or viewer. Thank you so much. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. And that being said, as we take a look at the last of the video tour here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and there's nothing else for me to say other than have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time for another video.